Alright, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're viewing this video. This is our third video in the sequence of our opening chapter of Intro to Excel. This particular video is going to focus on mathematical operations and formulas that can be applied within the Excel program. Before we get started on the actual hands-on piece, I just want to cover some of the nomenclature, some of the terms specific to this particular section. So we're looking at formulas here. A formula is defined as a particular calculation or cell reference, arithmetic operation, and value combination, and or functions for use in a calculation. So a formula combines all this in cell references, arithmetic operations, values, and or functions in the use of a calculation. We're going to look at creating formulas in Excel. There are a few key features, key factors in creating formulas in Excel. The first and most important is using cell reference instead of values where possible in a formula creation. The reason for that is because cell reference maintains accuracy in your calculations and automatically recalculates or updates the results if any of the input values within those reference cells change. Another key component of creating formulas is the application of the order of operations, or also referred as the order of precedence. May be familiar with this from your previous years of schooling, where they talked about order of operations with regard to mathematical computations. Same principle applies here. And again, these are the rules that control the sequence in which arithmetic operations are performed. Key thing to note about this is it does impact the calculation results, whether they are correct or incorrect based on the applied order of operation. And as you have seen in your previous math classes, order of operations occurs from left to right in the following order: parentheses, exponentiation, multiplication, division, and then finally addition and subtraction. One of the other things we'll look at here in this particular video is the use of semi-selection to create a formula. Again, using semi-selection to create the formula as opposed to hand jamming it, and it reduces the amount of errors and improves your consistency and accuracy in the formula creation. And we'll also look at copying formulas as well, being able to apply formulas to other areas in the spreadsheet. Again, keeping intact those cell references for getting the correct calculation. And then we'll show how you can actually display your cell formulas using the control and tilde key to give you visibility of your formulas as they are presented in the worksheet. So we'll go ahead and we'll move over to our spreadsheet that we created. And this will look a little bit familiar from the last video that we used. Just want to kind of use this as to build upon this. So again, we're looking at our top sales associates by the month. I've gone ahead and entered in some sales amount values. So we're going to look at doing some formula computations. So again, instead of what we're focusing on here is calculating the monthly commission for each top sales associate for the month. So we're looking at that in terms of identifying, that's our output. Again, going back to the previous video, identifying what we want to display in here, giving our output, our inputs, and then working towards getting those values. So we have our sales amount for the month. We have our commission rate of 15%. And again, this is going to be static across the board, so I'm using my autofill to apply that commission rate to each month. Now we need to work through the calculations. So the first method I'm going to show is the hand jamming method. And again, this is just going to be using cell reference. So we put in our enter key to signify that we're doing a calculation. Or I'm sorry, equal sign. And then I'm going to type in the reference value, cell data that I want. So we're looking at C3, and we're going to multiply that times D3. And as you notice, as I type those values in, it actually highlights the cells. I go ahead and click enter, and it gives me a calculation of the commission rate based off the sales amount, and the commission rate gives me the monthly commission for that individual. Another way that we can do it, as I mentioned in there, is using the semi-selection to create the formula. Again, this is more of a recommended method, primarily because it reduces the amount of errors in hand jamming. So again, we enter in the enter key, and then instead of actually typing in our cell C4, we're actually going to select that. And when you click on that, it actually puts the C4 reference, the cell C4 reference in the formula. Then hit the multiplication, asterisk for multiplication, and then we select our other value that we're going to be computing that against. Hit enter, and that completes the calculation for that particular commission rate, or monthly commission for that sales associate. Third method for applying formulas is to take an existing formula, Control C, we copy that, we select the next cell down, we hit Control V and paste, and as you'll notice, up in our formula bar we have C5 times D5. Again, C5 times D5, computing that. So again, those are three different ways to go ahead and apply that. I'm going to show you a quick fourth. In a sense, again, we're using this autofill feature where we apply that down all the way to the bottom. And again, you'll notice that the computations for those monthly commissions are then computed. Now, as I mentioned before in the PowerPoint presentation, there is a way that you can actually display the cell formulas. And again, by holding down the Control key and the tilde key, which is above your Tab key on the keyboard, that will then give you a representation of all of your formulas. Notice how it transposes the commission rate into a decimal. And again, you have all your calculations here for review. Okay. To hide the formulas, return back to the original display. Again, you just hold down the Control key, hit the tilde key, and that brings you back to the original view. And again, this is just a quick, short tutorial on mathematical operations and formulas. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to email me at ryan.free@ppcc.net.